Remember that poor boundaries are a symptom. They are a symptom of possibly a cluster of things, but certainly it's very likely to have evolved during childhood. Again, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of all the sort of plethora of ways in which you could have struggled with boundaries, but in essence, they are formed during your childhood. So whether you got judged, humiliated, criticized for trying to stand up for yourself, or if you were neglected but then got positive affirmation when you were involved in acts of care for others, that meant that that's where the imbalance started, where your standards for your being cared for yourself and given attention and affirmation and interest were low. But every time you did an act to support another, you got hugs or praise. Okay, so you can see how some of these things get set up. But what I want to do is move on to something more practical, because poor boundaries we know are a symptom. So then what? If we can see our patterns, and these patterns arise sometimes in different places, it can be across the board. If you've got really bad boundaries, it can be across the board. But sometimes it might just be with certain people or in certain situations. Okay, we all know family is triggering. There's many a person I help within their family system to try and redress a balance that's been long-standing for many years. But my point is this: when you can see the pattern, then you can start to heal that pattern and change your behavior and get different outcomes. So we can't change what we're not aware of. So once we can start to see the pattern, and this is why I take people through this phase of observing. When we observe and we journal things, we start to see patterns more clearly, and we literally see them in black and white. So sometimes we end up seeing a pattern because we think about it long enough, or we have somebody say something to us flippantly. Oh yeah, you're always like this. Since you were a kid, you were like this. And we realize, oh my gosh, yes, that's been a pattern of mine. So if we can compassionately observe, that's what I help clients do, is observe and see their patterns, then what? Investigate is the next kind of stage that I take people through. Where is this pattern coming from? And often there's an unmet need. So just like I've explained with the carer, you haven't developed the skill, so this is a skill deficit of checking in with yourself and seeing what you need. And can you meet that need yourself? Again, as a child, you can't. As an adult, you can. So that would be a skill. That would be investigating what's going on here. Is it an unmet need? Is my identity so caught up in caring that I can't allow myself to receive being cared for? That's so common in people that I see. So we have this investigate. Then we have problem solving. So now that we know what's going on, where the problem is it an identity level, is it skills, is it both? Problem solving. Then we get to the last stage, which is what I call direct and create. So for anyone who struggles with boundaries, this is a process that you can learn. I teach it to every client that comes to me. So often when someone comes to me, they have a life of chaos. Perhaps, a husband or a partner has finally left them. Maybe their business has collapsed. There's been some kind of a betrayal. There is perhaps physical exhaustion. There's illness, diabetes, addiction. These are all kinds of further symptoms of poor boundaries, poor self-care, poor skills in knowing your unmet needs and tuning into your own emotions. These are all the kinds of problems that when people come to me, they start off with. By the time I take them through and teach them this process, 8, 12 weeks later, now someone can stand up for themselves. They can vocalize their unmet needs. Their standards for how they treat themselves has gone up. Now they're going to the gym. Now they're doing breath work. Now they're drinking more water. Now they're getting to bed at 10 p.m. and getting a good night's sleep. So they're turning over this cycle that is creating exhaustion and pain and depression and frustration. And they're being able to self-reflect and self-direct. That's stage 4 that I've mentioned, self-direct, and come through this process, and everything starts to get better. You feel healthier, your relationships get better, you are able to invite other people to meet you at your standards. So if you're watching this, and my name is Bibi Eastwood, haha, if you don't know that already, I'm a life coach and I help people with their boundaries. It's something I'm really passionate about because it sounds so simple, but actually when we have these deep wounds to ourselves, we can't have good boundaries. So this is a real deep dive into looking at what's right inside of us in a supported, guided process. And I just get so excited because I just see such lovely things happening. And you can see my testimonials. Some are video form, some are on my IG as text messages from clients. And you can always book a call with me wherever you are in the world. You can find the link in my bio there or the description and book in half an hour. Just chat. Come and chat with me and tell me what you've been struggling with. And let's see, even if in that session I can figure out what it is that you would need. Sometimes I have to pass people on to a therapist or recommend another route because I'm not a therapist. I'm here to help move you forward to what you want. So if you want to have strong boundaries, what does that look like for you? How will your life be better? I can help you get there.